We already talked about creating requests, but now it is time to have a look at what comes back. Let's have a look in this lecture at responses. Now, I cannot emphasize how important it is to be able to analyze what is coming back. And Postman makes this so much easier than you would normally have it. And this is exactly what I wanted to show in this lecture, how to take advantage of the functionality that Postman is offering you to properly understand what is happening with your request, what is the server responding with, and how you can eventually fix your request so that it works as expected. An HTTP response has three parts, and all these three parts can be easily found in the Postman interface. The first of it is the status. And in this case, the status code is 200. Then you have the body. And then you have headers. The status code is very important because it gives you an indication if your success was successful. In case your request was successful, you'll get a 200 or a response status that starts with 2. Indicated that the request was understood and successfully processed by the server. In Postman, if you click the status code, you will get more detailed information about what the status code means. But generally, everything that starts with 2 indicates that everything was okay. Something that starts with 4, like 400, 401, 403, indicates that you have sent something that isn't just as okay and the server couldn't understand it. So generally, submitting the same thing again would not really help, so we need to change something. And if you get a response status which starts with a 5, it generally indicates a server problem. So it's not your fault at this point, but either the server is having some problems processing a request temporarily, and it would make sense to retry that a bit later. Apart from status, Postman offers you the time it took to get that response, and this is in milliseconds, and just as well the size of the response, and this is again divided in body and headers. Now please don't take this time as an absolute value, it's just a best guess on how fast the whole process was. Moving to body, you will see here that below you have some additional options, and almost all of them refer to how the response is being shown to you. As you can see here, in this case, Postman recognized that this is a JSON response, automatically made everything look much nicer. Additionally, you can click on stuff like links. Just to give you an idea how exactly the pretty function works, I will just show you for this request the raw version. And you can see it's not so easy to read and understand. So if you're looking for a specific property or something, we'll have a pretty hard time really locating that. So this is when with pretty you get something that looks much nicer. Additionally, if you need to, you can easily copy that request to clipboard, or if you're looking for something more specific, you can easily search it. Now if you think that Postman didn't select the proper format, you can manually select that as well here. You'll see in the case of JSON, if I select something else, it will not look just as beautiful. Now, in case you're getting an error, usually in HTML format or anything else that isn't JSON, just using the pretty or the raw wouldn't make it much easier for you to understand what is going on there. So this is why you have to preview, and with preview, Postman can actually render HTML and give you a much faster indication on what the exact error or what the server responded with. Last but not least, in case you are requesting an image or the server is responding you with an image, Postman will be able to automatically render it. But just in case it is not an image, you have the option below send to just click send and download, and after the request was completed, you can just save the response from the server. The last part of the response are the headers, and just as sending, you will see that they are organized after key and value. And additionally, for known headers, Postman will offer you additional information. So you only have to put your mouse over it, and you will be able to see what that header is used for. So this is all you need to know about inspecting responses from a server. Once again, you can easily see the status code and understand what happened with the request. You can easily inspect the body and just as well the head. In case your request is already part of a connection, you have the possibility of saving that response. And this is useful if you're using Postman in order to document your API. I clicked on save. Now I have the possibility of saving this example. So I will say here example 1. I must save it. Now you will see here above, I will get a list of examples that I have, so I can add additionals or I can have a look at existing ones. Once I click on existing one, I will see how the example request looked like and how the response looked like. This is merely for documentation purposes. It doesn't actually submit any request, but it's a nice functionality to know about in case you're interested in more documenting your requests. So this is a lecture on understanding responses with Postman.